finally, my spoiler-free review of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. How do you do, G-Pod crew? It's your Naughty Buddy Potty here, and finally, I got to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and it was extra special because I got early access to it 1 day early. That made things insane because I have a lot of things I need to do when it comes to my Halo review and everything else, but it was extra special. So before I get started on this, I do want to warn you guys that this is just going to be a spoiler-free review. Nothing's going to be spoiled. I will do a quick breakdown of the Easter eggs because guess what? There's a lot. And what I mean there's a lot. But when we get there, I will do a spoiler warning. But I also want to tell you guys how extra special this was. You see, I actually got early access because of a special event they're doing in my area, or at least for certain theaters, where you get early access tickets 1 day early to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And when you come there, you get this nice little poster you see right behind me. And you also get this Sonic the Hedgehog comic book. Now, I have not read this book yet, but what makes this extra special today for me is I met with the manager, talked with him when I got there. I was the first one there, all decked out in Sonic. He realized how much a fan I was, that guess what? He didn't just give me one, he gave me 2 of the comics. Yes, sirree, 2 of the comics and 2 of the posters. So I have one I get to put up here for you guys to enjoy, and one I get to keep in safekeeping, not messed up. Tonight's been one amazing night as a Sonic fan. But with that being said, I want to talk about how much I love Sonic the Hedgehog and how much I love this movie. So let's just talk about him, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog himself was amazing. Now, I do want to state that the core greatness of this movie is the core 4 characters, the main characters of the movie itself, which is, of course, 3 animated characters, and then, well, actually 4 animated characters because Jim Carrey is pretty animated no matter what. But with that being said, I do feel this movie has some flaws only based on a subplot that I felt wasn't really needed. And I'll explain that in just a second. But first, as far as Sonic, what do you got to say? It's Sonic. The guy that did the voice of Sonic for this movie did a great job, and I'm so happy that they actually stuck with him for this. Of course, when it comes to, well, animated characters, so to say, Jim Carrey is even better in this movie. I didn't think he could top himself as Robotnik in the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, but he went full-blown Jim Carrey Robotnik in this, and I am so happy that this exists. Honestly, if he doesn't continue as Robotnik, I'm happy with this Robotnik, even though we didn't get the, obese, fat version of Robotnik. I don't really need it. The obese doesn't matter in this sense. This is the quintessential Robotnik, and I'm very, very, very happy with it. Then we get to Tails. Colleen O'Shaughnessy, the voice of Tails in the video game, was put forward to do the voice of Tails because she did it in the first movie at the end of the first movie. Amazing job. Amazing, amazing job. And of course, that's because she is Tails. I'm glad they didn't change it, and honestly, I wouldn't want them to change it. This is the one character that we all wanted to stay with the same voice. Sonic didn't matter. Tails did matter. As far as Knuckles, oh, by the way, and I love the Tails character. They did great on Tails as far as the thing. But here's the thing. The one character that shined was definitely Knuckles. Idris Elba as Knuckles is amazing. By far my favorite character in this whole movie. It just, oh my god, the aggression, the muscle, the put forth of him being this character was amazing. Honestly, every single character, Tails, Robotnik, Sonic, these are all characters that are adored in the video game, whether they're the good or bad guy. and shined in this. Here's my thing. We had a little too much of the side story of the wedding, and I know it set up some things, but I felt it wasn't needed and we could have done it in a different way. I hope that if we continue on, we just look at it as we really don't need the human characters. I know it won't be a live action movie, but even so, again, you could have live action area with all CGI. Honestly, it could work. Sonic movie, more towards the CGI basis now, is a positive way to go forward and just keep it as a voice actor in a real world where you can just have random actors in the background or just ones they coexist with. There were some scenes, I will state, that I feel was a little bit too childish for me, but we do have to remember this is a child's movie. But it definitely did a lot of love for the hardcore fans. Now, before I get into anything else, I want to go ahead and state, before I give you my final score, and as well as when I go into the full breakdown, I have information I want to explain to you. And then once we get to that, I will explain everything in detail. So basically, I want to do a full breakdown with visuals and everything. The problem is there's a lot of Easter eggs in this, and I still have the Halo review to shoot, as well as a lot of other stuff to do. And I'm going to see Sonic again tomorrow because I've already got my ticket for the other theater that wasn't giving early access available. So, and I didn't know about early access until recently, literally yesterday. So I'm going to see Sonic twice. That means I can go and pick up any Easter eggs and put them into a special breakdown video for you guys that will be extra special. But I still want to give you guys the full breakdown in this video. So before we do that, I do want to tell you that I love this movie, and I'm definitely being biased in this. I love it so much that it's going to get a high score. I can't help it. Sonic is something I love, and I'm so happy Paramount is doing so many good graces in making both Sonic movies so amazingly entertaining and really appealing to fans without pulling back, without holding back because they're afraid of, oh, it's not realistic. Screw the realism. It's a blue hedgehog that can run fast. You've already lost realism at that point. Don't even try to prove what happens. These are characters from another world that have their own special powers. Once you look at that and just keep the absurdity in there, you get to enjoy what you get. And with that being said, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, for me, gets a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 10 out of 10, but I feel like the wedding scene was the only thing that dropped it down. And I also need to be very honest with myself because it's still a kid's movie and it's not Oscar winning. But it's still Sonic the Hedgehog, and we know how much I love me some Sonic the Hedgehog. But with that being said, guys, I am going to do a full breakdown that's going to post tomorrow. But tonight we're going to do a short breakdown. No visual aid. I'm just going to go down the list. And when I mean go down the list, I'm talking about 30 Easter eggs probably. I don't know that count, but I know there's a lot. So I'm just going to run down them. If you've seen the movie, enjoy this full Easter egg and breakdown. But with that being said, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Don't worry. You'll know right now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is your spoiler alert, an actual extra special spoiler alert that I did right there for you guys, because I want to do a full, awesome breakdown for you guys tomorrow. This one's going to be quick, so I need to take this hat off, because this is going to be a lot, and I'm going to be reading from the screen right above. So with that being said, let's get started from the beginning of the movie. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be reading these from the list I made. And I'm going to, when I go to see my second viewing tomorrow, I am going to go ahead and jot down anything else I might miss to put in the breakdown. And I'm going to use visual aid tomorrow. But this is going to be probably the quickest breakdown you'll ever see me do without giving detail on the screen. Don't worry, I will tomorrow. So with that being said, first off, the Paramount symbol pops up, and it's rings instead of stars around it. Again, reminiscent to the rings you find in Sonic. The first thing we see is a Robotnik symbol on a boulder, a makeshift boulder when Robotnik is in the Mushroom World, and it rolls over a makeshift Sonic that falls into a spike pit, and this is reminiscent of Sonic running into a spike pit or falling into a spike pit. But the Robotnik symbol on there is very prominent, and you will see that later on. I guess they're trying to get you to understand this is Robotnik symbol, this means Robotnik. Then we turn over back to Sonic at home. He just stopped a crime in another city, and he comes back home, sneaks in, throws some money into a drawer, and we see a picture of Rotor. Rotor is a character from the Sonic cartoons and comic books, and you see it briefly in the back of the drawer. Then we also find our first indication that Sonic can't swim when both him and Tim are on the boat and Sonic falls off and can't swim. And of course, Tim has to pull him up from the water. Now, when Sonic is left home alone, he builds a makeshift loop to skate in, much like the loop in the video games that he runs through. Again, another point when Sonic is left at home, he gets a beard and a mustache made out of bubbles that he created, which this is also reminiscent of his Uncle Chuck, his Uncle Chuck is a character in the comic books and the cartoon that looks a lot like him but has a beard and a mustache. This is an homage to that. Now, if you notice, the coffee house that the police car pulls up in front of says Mean Bean Coffee or Mean Bean Coffee Co., which is an homage to Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which is like a Tetris-type game that was based on Robotnik sending in his robots, and you had to stop them. This later does pay off and shows that Agent Stone set up Robotnik's new headquarters there, which makes sense because it's Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine or Robotnik's Mean Bean Coffee. Now, during the chase scene with Sonic and Tails in the cop car, we see Knuckles explodes through a truck. You'll notice he glides right through the truck, just like he does in the video game. And for the first time, we see Tails flying while carrying Sonic, which of course can be done in the game with a second player. Now, if you notice Robotnik's new robots, when he finally gets all his machine and everything working sent to him from Agent Stone, shows the round ones from the first movie, but then some really weird looking ones that look like Wasp. Those are actually reminiscent of the Buzzer Bot from the video game. Now, you'll notice Knuckles is climbing the side of the cliff. This is an ability he also has in the video game. And then we have Robotnik's round pod, which is just like the one in the video game. Okay, so we see Robotnik's symbol again, but now on the monitor when the Mean Bean Cafe is turned into the headquarters. You'll notice the 7 Chaos Emeralds that they talk about are contained in the Master Emerald. You'll also notice where Knuckles refers back to his Echidna tribe from the first movie, which is in a direct link to both the Sonic Adventures game and from the Archie comic books. Now, Sonic calls Robotnik a mix of Professor X and the Monopoly Guy. Now, the Monopoly Guy reference could also be a nod to his first Ace Ventura movie with the old man with the monocle, of that scene where he's making fun of him being a Monopoly Guy. Alright, now, we see both Sonic and Knuckles snowboard down the mountain just like in the Sonic 3 game. Now, Sonic calls Knuckles the Winter Soldier, which works with the concept of being enemies when they're actually friends, just like Winter Soldier and Captain America was. And this is just a Marvel reference, so I loved it. Okay, so when Sonic falls to the edge of the cliff after being hit, he drops his rings, just like he does in the video game whenever he gets hit. Now, in one of the flashbacks, you see Knuckles' father is shown briefly. This is Locke the Echidna, and he does appear in the Sonic Archie comics, which, of course, is Knuckles' father in the comics as well. We see Tails' iconic plane, the Tornado, flies over the wedding with a sign behind it. Now, during the wedding, you hear the Sonic music play on Tim's phone, which, of course, interrupts the wedding. Now, if you notice, the Tails gadget that is thrown down during the wedding at one of the agents from the gun agency shoots this gust of air up in the sky, which kind of spins. This is just like the fans in the Sonic game, where it can can basically push up you in the game to wherever you need to be pushed up to. You'll notice that the Master Emerald is in Mystic Ruins, which is a level in the Sonic game. Now, when Sonic gets washed up on the beach, you'll notice a crab on the beach. This is probably reminiscent of the enemy from the game called Crab Meat, which is actually one of the first enemies you see in the Sonic game. Okay, so Knuckles breaks down walls in Mystic Ruins just like in the game, and he does this several times as well, like in the house, so on and so forth. This is a common trait again from Knuckles. Okay, so when Knuckles is caught between a pillar and underwater, Sonic has to dive in to help him, which of course he doesn't like water. But during his time of getting Knuckles out of the water, he sucks in a water bubble while in the water to get air. This is something he would do in the video game whenever he was drowning in the water. He would suck in a bubble to get air so he wouldn't drown. And of course, again, Sonic can swim again while saving Knuckles. But of course, Knuckles ends up saving him. Tails finally gets the tornado plane that I referenced earlier. Now, after Robotnik gets the Master Emerald, he creates his Death Egg robot, just like in the Sonic 2 video game. And also, which when I started my spoiler warning for the full breakdown, that's the same robot you see there. So, listen, if you look at my bottom of my screen, I put Super Sonic on here, hoping for Super Sonic, which honestly was kind of spoiled for me, but I'm not even going to get into that. But I didn't predict the Death Egg robot being in the movie, and I clearly put it as my spoiler alert, which is funny because it actually was something that happened in the movie. How ironic, huh? And awesome, too. Now, you'll notice the instructions to Robotnik's Death Egg robot that Agent Stone uses to control it looks just like an old Sega Genesis game manual. And again, my full breakdown, I will show reference to all these Easter eggs I've shown you so far. Now you notice that Sonic becomes Super Sonic after the Master Emerald breaks and has the 7 Chaos Emeralds, which of course again is what happens in the video games. Once you collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds and collect 50 rings, you become Super Sonic. And of course, Super Sonic. Do I have to explain Super Sonic? Okay, Super Sonic is what happens when you turn into when you get 50 rings and it collected all 7 Chaos Emeralds, and you're pretty much invincible and really freaking fast, and is one of the coolest things ever. It's Super Saiyan for Sonic, but cooler. Sorry, Dragon Ball Z fans. I'm a fan too, but Sonic's cooler. Okay, so the Emerald sound could be heard when Super Sonic calls out for a Chilla Dog out from the sky using his now supersonic powers. Now, you'll notice that Sonic calls out to Tails at the baseball field, but calls him Miles Tails per hours. Now, you remember that Tails said that his name was a nickname, and that is true also in the game, because his name is actually Miles parentheses Tails because it's 2 tails per hour. If you take the name Tails out, then it ends up being called Miles per hour. And if you say that fast enough, it sounds like miles per hour. Miles per hour. This was actually used in the video game and was the first name for Tails as a joke to miles per hour as in speed. And then, of course, Shadow the Hedgehog in the mid-credits scene. Created by Robotnik, though. That's the one thing I don't understand. Because in this, apparently, they're nodding that it wasn't Robotnik that made it. And there you guys have it. That is my full breakdown. You see how much I had? Now, I want to do a video for all these, but unfortunately, in 5 hours, I have the Halo review. 4 hours, I have the Halo review. And then I have the re-showing or the re-watching of Sonic the Hedgehog tomorrow. So I've got to make sure to get some sleep. And I've also got to make sure that this review goes out because it's 10:19. And by the time this goes out, it's probably going to be about 11, 12 o'clock. I'm only going to get about 2 hours. So I wanted to do my full breakdown just vocally. But I will be doing a full special breakdown tomorrow after I go and see it. Because again, I'll be honest with you, if New Rockstar them do drop full breakdowns, I want to make sure mine's better and the best, and I want to go and see it a second time just to make sure I get it right, guys. And with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Again, please, I can't talk, you can tell I'm tired. Please drop a like on this video, share it with your friends, guys, and of course, make sure you're ready for the full breakdown tomorrow. If you go and see Sonic this weekend, please come back for my full breakdown so I can show you all the references to everything that I just talked about. And if you watch anything, watch both videos. This is special to me, guys. You guys know how much of a Sonic fan I am. If you don't believe me, I literally have this sitting here, and it's just a miniature Sonic figure. And I have the mask you saw on. Dude, my wallet. My wallet has Sonic on it, and I've had this for 8 years. Come on. Truer Sonic fan than me. Anyway, guys, please share this video. Show it some love. And I'll see you guys in my extra special full breakdown tomorrow. Peace.